OpenToonz, Toonz, Studio Ghibli. What have they all got in common? Well, for one thing, until just over 5 years ago, I'd never heard of any of them. Yes, even this great Studio Ghibli. Never heard of it. So how did I become enlightened, you may well ask? Well, it's a short story, so let me tell you. Firstly, though, thank you very much for dropping into my animation channel. It's nice to have you here. Okay, so what's the story? Well, the truth is, I came across OpenToonz, Toonz, and Studio Ghibli totally by accident. Yes, it was purely accidental. You see, at the time, I'd not animated in many years after doing some 3D animation years before in 3D Max. But I had some stories I wanted to create, so instead of going back to 3D, perhaps in something like Maya or even Blender, I wanted to do something more hand-drawn, something in 2D. So I was busy looking around for good 2D animation software. This was over 5 years ago, and I was using all the Adobe programs at the time: Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, etc., mainly for my work. So it would have made sense to stay with the Adobe product. But I'd come across another, perhaps lesser known software from France, TV Paint, and I was very impressed. I did my research, saw who was using it and what they had created with it, and I was sold. I was about to buy it, and I did one more random search for software, and this thing called OpenToonz popped up. It looked interesting, so I put my order of TV Paint on hold and did some research on OpenToonz. That's when I came across its amazing backstory, which, when I get the time, I'll make a fully dedicated video about, as it's quite incredible. Long story short, OpenToonz is an open source version of an Italian software called Toonz. But that's not the amazing part. Toonz had been used by a little studio in Japan called Studio Ghibli. Studio who, I asked? Studio Ghibli? I'd never heard of them, so of course I did some more research, and this is when my eyes were opened to this incredible wealth of animation that is the world of Studio Ghibli. I'd been totally ignorant, embarrassingly so of course. I'd not even heard of them. I quickly sought after all their films and devoured them. I was in awe. The detailed, incredible hand-painted backgrounds, the amazing lighting, the quietness. How did I never know about all of this? I did more research and found out everything I could about the great Hayao Miyazaki. But let's save that for another day, as there's already so much written and spoken about the legend, and of course Studio Ghibli. But back to my story. So it turns out Toonz had been used on many of the Studio Ghibli films, and over the years the Italian company that created Toonz Digital Video had added to it, adapted it, and customized it to Studio Ghibli's very demanding needs. Fantastic, but how does OpenToonz tie into all of this? Well, in 2016, Dwango, a Japanese company, teamed up with Digital Video, the original Italian creator, and Studio Ghibli, and launched the OpenToonz project, and OpenToonz was born. It is effectively the free open source version of Toonz, and is known as the Toonz Ghibli edition because of all the customization in it that Studio Ghibli did in-house over those many years. Wow, what a backstory. Well, once I'd learnt all of this, I put my purchase of TV Paint on hold, downloaded OpenToonz and started working on it. Within the day, I'd drawn and animated a flying bird that later became the opening logo for many of my videos and animated films. I was in love, and so started my journey with OpenToonz. That was over 5 years ago now, and a lot has happened to OpenToonz along the way. A lot of good things. For one thing, it used to be very buggy, often crashing for no apparent reason. Well, no more. I've not had it crash on me in years now. Those bugs have long been ironed out. But the uptake of OpenToonz has remained surprisingly small. Surprisingly, I say, because of its amazing history and backstory, and because when you do get to use it and see what it can do, you really never want to use another piece of 2D animation software ever again. The drawing tools, the animation tools, the special effects, don't get me going about the special effects. They are just amazing. And a lot of them were developed while Toonz was being used in the Ghibli movies. So 5 years later, I'm still in love with OpenToonz. I use it daily. I'm sure over time more animators will get to know it, and that'd be great. And like me, fall in love with it. But in the meantime, it's my go-to software, and the more I learn to do with it, the more I love it. Sorry, TV Paint. We got so close, but OpenToonz stepped in at the last and stole the show. Thanks for dropping into my channel. Happy animating out there, and I hope I'll see you around here again soon. All the best. Bye.